This is the voice of the Report of the Week, signing on. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and everyone listening. This is VORW Radio International, the voice of the Report of the Week, signing on for another program. Thank you all so much for tuning in. It is Thursday, the 9th of March, 2017, and we can be heard on the international shortwave frequencies of 5850, 12085, 6070, 7490, 3210, and 5150 kHz. No matter how you're tuned in, where you're tuned in from, or when you're tuned in, thank you for listening to this program. I wish you good reception conditions. VORW Radio International is a light entertainment program which features a mixture of my talk and commentary, usually at the beginning but also throughout the program, as well as a mixture of listener-requested music. And some people listen to the program for the commentary, but many listen for the music, and people like it because the music is completely listener-requested, so you hear a wide variety of music of all shapes and sizes. You hear music from all eras, all genres, and really, you never know what you're going to hear next. As a matter of fact, when I produce these programs, more often than not, I don't even know what I'm going to hear next. Now anyway, thank you for listening, ladies and gentlemen, and thank you for being tuned in wherever you are. If you're listening on your shortwave radio in Japan, in India, or if you're tuned in on your radio in Europe, North America, you're listening online, on your phone, via TuneIn, SoundCloud, or however it may be, thank you for being here, and thank you for tuning in. So now that you know what this program is exactly, one last thing before I get to some talking. If you want to contact VORW Radio International with music requests, comments, questions, general statements, reception reports as well, and any reception reports will be met with a QSL, you can send me an email at vorwinfo@gmail.com. That's vorwinfo@gmail.com. One last time, vorwinfo@gmail.com. You know, I've been thinking fairly recently about this topic. I don't know how common or prevalent it may be where you are, but over here in the United States, where I am based out of, it's something that you see every single day. And in many such cases, it's something that has become so ingrained into our society and our culture that many individuals now turn a blind eye to it. They don't pay attention to it anymore, and they don't regard it as anything that may be unusual anymore. What I'm talking about is living outside of your means. And it all roots down, in many, many cases, to something that people here call keeping up with the Joneses. What that is, and I think many of us know what that is, it's a statement used oftentimes in a negative connotation that talks about how some people have such a competitive attitude towards life that they feel that they have to be better than everyone else. And if that's not the case, that causes problems for them. And perhaps it's a superiority complex. It makes them want to feel better, bigger than everyone else around them. And they continually feel that way, that they have to keep up with their friends, their neighbors, their co-workers, acquaintances, etc. And they always have to be either on the same level as them, technologically, socially, or financially, or ahead of them in any of those categories. This ideology of keeping up with the Joneses is originally from having a competitive attitude. Now, don't get me wrong. I think that having a competitive spirit and wanting to compete with those who may be working with, or in some cases against you, is a good thing, and it can lead to productivity, especially in the workplace, within reason, and also in the education environment. I think in some ways, friendly competition can actually lead to increased productivity and even perhaps better work. There's nothing wrong with that. But it's when people take that competitive spirit and they overdo it, to put it bluntly. And that is so common in society today. As a matter of fact, it's in some ways actually promoted by some companies and advertisers. And I think it's a problem. And I think it's a problem really with no solution, unfortunately, because I think it really plays into one of the human traits, i.e. competitiveness. But it's something that I've thought about lately. Over here in the United States, you see so many individuals with this ideology. They think that they need to have that new television set, even though their current television is only 6 months old. They need to have that new smartphone that really has no additional features, but it's new and it's $200 more than the one they have now. They need that. It's shinier than the one they have now. They need to have that. Their suits that they wear are a little bit older style. They need to get those new ones. Their car is 5 years old. They need to get that new one. I think you get the picture. Everything needs to be better. And what drives that? Oftentimes it's because they see that their friend has a new car, or their friend is wearing something that they define as being fashionable. Someone they saw on TV, some public figure, has a new phone that they need now. And people get it. People buy into it. People see that thing that they want or need. They spend money on it. And everything is fine for a short period of time, until something else comes along. Now they need to get that. They ditch what they had. They just throw it out. And the process continues. Now, one aspect of it all that isn't too discussed is not doing away with the competitiveness there, because that is talked about so much already. But where the money comes from. Some individuals would go as far as to buying a new house. They'll put down $400,000 for that house with no plans. They just expect everything to be fine. They expect the money to just keep flowing in so they can buy more and more new things. What happens if someone gets sick? What happens if you lose your job? What happens if your child gets very seriously ill? What happens? You lose your job. You find out that your child has cancer now and needs to be treated. What do? The bank account? Not looking good. That $20,000 that you could have used to help pay your child's medical bills instead went to that new car that replaced the old one that was only 3 months old. That's where the real problems lie. Having a competitive spirit is not a bad thing. Having one to excess, though, which causes you to live outside of your means, the money runs out. Some people don't realize that. You might have $10 million in the bank now. Just keep an eye on it. Sometimes it'll control you and it'll get the best of you, and it'll be gone before your very eyes. Well, that was a little bit of a moral talk from the good old lecturer here. VORW Radio International, of course, though, is a light entertainment program featuring not only talk and commentary, but what did I also say? Music, that's right. We got some music here on VORW Radio International. Coming up.